How to negotiate when you cannot walk away. Every negotiation expert on the internet gives you the same rule. Rule number 1, be ready to walk away. Great advice, one problem. It's written for people with a cushion. Walking away is easy when someone will catch you. I want to talk to everyone else today, the people who cannot walk away. Because last year, that was me. And I'm going to tell you the whole story, including the part where I got it wrong, because I think you will recognize yourself in it. First, so you know who's talking to you, I'm Natalie. I'm from Siberia, Russia. I started with nothing and I built my career completely from scratch. I spent 10 years in Australia working for American tech companies, doing partnerships, which means negotiating deals was literally my job. For a decade, I sat at these tables professionally. I knew the theory cold. And I still walked into the worst negotiation of my life. That's the thing about advice. Knowing it and being able to use it are completely two different things, especially when the advice assumes a safety net and you don't have one. So, fast forward, New York. You have to understand what New York meant to me. When you grow up where I grew up, New York isn't a city. It's a symbol. It's a place where dreams come true. And if you work hard, you can achieve anything. 10 years in Australia, and I still never imagined myself actually negotiating a role there. So when the possibility became real, I was excited, ambitious, ready. Now, here's what my position actually looked like. And I want you to count the leverage with me. I needed a visa sponsorship. Most companies won't even touch the moment they see it. Your CV goes right to the bottom, and I had no local US experience. And for a commercial role, that they treat that as essential. I wasn't just applying for jobs, I was having to educate companies on why they should even consider me before we could talk about the role itself. I had been 3 months without a job at that point of my life. 3 months of watching my savings go down. I even flew to the other side of the world to stay with my family while I job hunted to save some money. Because let's be honest, living in Sydney is expensive. And it's literally easier to fly on the other side of the world than live in Sydney for 3 months. I had no network in New York, no family support, no one to lean on. Nobody was going to catch me. And this was the only offer on the table. And when they came in at $108, I know how that sounds. But try living on it in Manhattan, where the average apartment costs 4,000 to 5,000 a month, which leaves me with about 1,500 for food and everything else. What exactly was I supposed to do? Be ready to walk away? Of course not. I took the job. And deep down, I knew. I knew the bar was too low for me. I felt it, the way you feel these things, not as a thought, but in a gut. Maybe you know that feeling, signing a document, but something inside you saying you're worth more than this paper. I signed it anyway. I told myself this city was worth it. And then I did the thing I want you to never do. I spent the next 6 months renegotiating again and again and again, and every single time the answer came, this is it. We cannot do anything better. Here's what nobody tells you about that cycle. Every time you go back after you've already said yes, you're not building leverage, you're spending yourself. Each no landed in my body. Each one took something because I was not asking from strength. I was asking from a wound, from that voice saying, you are worth more. And every rejection confirmed the fear underneath it. If you've been in that loop, you know it's not really about the money anymore. It's about needing them to see you. And they won't. That's not what companies do, especially these days. There was something else I'd noticed from the very first conversation, and I ignored it. The leadership was cold, unempathetic, no real human warmth in any interaction. And I, someone whose whole career was built on real connection with people, told myself I could change that. I could warm them up, I could convince them to care about my needs. You cannot renegotiate someone into caring about you. Write that down. People show you exactly who they are in the first meeting. I ignored it because I was in love with the city, not the company. That mismatch was visible from day one. I just did not want to see it. Okay, so that's the story of how not to do it. Now, let me give you what I actually learned from this. And from 10 years on the other side of these tables, not to be ready to walk away. The real moves for when you can't. Move number 1. Everything happens before a yes. The moment you sign, your leverage doesn't shrink. It disappears. Whatever you're going to ask for all of it once, calmly, completely, before you accept. Because after yes, you're not negotiating anymore. You're requesting it. And requests get, this is it. We can't do anything more. Move number 2. When the number is fixed, negotiate the perimeter. They told me the salary, they couldn't move. Fine, I got relocation costs partially covered. I got a 6-month review, documented in writing, not a vague promise. When the center of the deal is locked, the edges are still open. Relocation, title, start date, a written review clause, extra leave. In 10 years of partnerships, I watched this constantly. The party with no leverage asks for nothing because they can't get the big thing. The rare ones who do it well quietly collect the edges. The edges add up. Move number 3. Read the people, not just the offer. The offer is what they promise you. The people are what you'll actually live with. If the humans across the table are cold before you signed, when they're supposed to be winning you over, believe what you're seeing and price it in. Money matters, but so does the feeling in your gut when you know the people you work for don't have your best interests at heart. That feeling does not fade. It compounds. I prefer not to do business with people like that at all now, for any number. Move number 4. The one that changes everything. If you must take a weak deal, take it for the position, not price. Here's what I only understood later. I did not really get paid $108,000. I got paid in New York, first-hand US experience, the exact thing they used against me in the negotiation. I now own a network I didn't have, the ability to apply for the next role already inside the city as a local. The weak deal was my entry fee. I just paid it blind instead of on purpose. So if you genuinely cannot walk away, take the deal with your eyes open and negotiate the next negotiation. Ask yourself one question. What does this position give me so that I am never ever this leverageless again? That's the real difference. The advice says have power or leave. Reality for people like you and me says enter without power and use it. and use the entry to build it. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And if you're ever taking a deal you knew was beneath you because you had no choice, I need you to hear this part. It was not weakness, it was a move. People with safety nets get to make clean choices. People like us make positioned ones. Just make sure it's the last one you ever make blind. That's what this channel is. Real strategy for people who started with nothing. The tactics and the inner work, because when there is no net, you need both. I'm building video by video from everything I had to learn the hard way. It takes hard work and some luck, but you create more luck when you work. Subscribe if that's your story too. See you in the next one.